I'm sure everyone is so excited to see you in the flesh too after seeing the film. I have lots of questions that I would like to ask, and I'm sure our audience does too. But my first question is for you, Bonito. I'm curious about the origins of the film, and my big question is, were you a part of the life drawing community to start with? And I wonder if you can share what sparked your inspiration to make this documentary.
Excellent question. Also, I gotta say, I love your glasses.
Oh, yes. Wearing these glasses in kind of companionship with Bonito, I was slightly jealous, and I had to do it. And also, I think it was the result of me misclicking the URL. So I do apologize for the late start, and I'm fully blaming these. But anyways.
Yeah, so I've been involved in the life drawing world from the beginning because I do life drawing, like IRL. And me and the ex guy who was mentioned, not by name, but in the film, we're talking about how it would be really cool if there was a life drawing world. And then the creator, Tokyo, up there, made the world, and it was so great. And it's really made beautifully for people who love to draw and paint. It's not like just the way everything's set up and like the different elements to the world. Just I'm not surprised that people love using it. And Infutu, who is the creator of the canvas prefab, their work is just amazing. That pen and the brush, the canvas, it's like once you start using it, it's just so addictive because it feels really good to use. And so yeah, I'm not as deeply involved in the community as Seagulls and Flo. I mean, I'd love to hear more on their experience in the community, but I try and stay as involved as I can.
Sure. Well, I'm curious. What was the seed that made you think I would love to celebrate this community on film? Like, I want to make this documentary, and I can see it.
You're gonna make
was there
me
a
say
moment
it again.
that caused that?
You're gonna make me say it again. Watching your film and seeing just seeing how I think it's hard to explain to people who don't use social VR what it feels like to be in it, and to kind of explain that everybody here are real people, and the kind of things that you can experience together are really magical. And when I saw your film, I was like, oh shit, that's the format. That's great. And then from just meeting the artists and having experiences in the world myself, I wanted to know more about their perspective. And then there was the VR Life Drawing Art Fair, and it just seemed like it was a good time to get people talking about why they like painting in VR. And yeah, that answer it.
Yeah, well, and thank you. It warms my heart to know that I helped inspire this piece of art. I love it.
For sure.
I'd like to move on to the subject of the film. Could you share how you were discovered by Bonito and what the process of filming was like?
I think it was the adventure team that we met. I think.
Yes.
I think it was, yeah.
But,
so yeah, but yeah, as far as
about Seagulls. I had heard
hopefully
about you
all
before,
good.
Because I like to draw, and then yeah.
Yeah, I think filming was a little nerve-wracking, I'd say, as someone who has some social anxiety that I've gotten through a lot, but it was good, it's cool. It's cool to be here, and I feel pretty honored to be a part of the film and everything. I think it's really cool. I mean, I've been drawing on VRChat for so long, and it's nice to have something I could be oh yeah, I could show my friends or show my family what I've been doing for all this time now, because a lot of people don't understand it, so it's nice to have a actual piece of media showing just what we do.
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. I think that's such a beautiful quality, especially when you're in a film too. You know, it's so much more personal, and you can really voice that as well. How did you find yourself in the film flow?
Uh, I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of got kidnapped. I was randomly in an art world, in a public art world, or Friends Plus, I wasn't too sure, but everyone was there. Toki was there, Bonita was there, Seagulls was there, I think, and then XDI was there, and XDI was doing this, was it, or it was Hero, was doing like this interview thing on the couch, and then Bonita was like, you want to? I was like, sure. You know, I just kind of got dragged into it. I'm really thankful that I did. It was really fun.
I did ask for permission, okay?
And all that.
I swear.
No, you did. But it was super random. But it was really fun. I really liked it. The filming was also really fun. Like I said in the video, I don't really talk while painting, so it was more like a bunch of ramblings and not really thing that made much sense sometimes. So there was a lot of things that were cut out, but the final thing was really awesome, and I'm glad that I participated.
Hmm.
Can I quickly add to that? Seagulls and Flo are both like really amazing community kind of like leaders in a way. Like they really take people under their wing, and like they always make sure everybody feels really good. They're not going to say it themselves, but
We won't.
yeah, that's part of the reason I think why we wanted to like highlight these two in particular, is because they're always there for people, and they're very present, which is really lovely. I think you can feel that.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have like a little community of artists too, and just friends that you can goof off with while drawing together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that absolutely shines through the film, and I think it goes without saying, Bonito, that you've cast so beautifully. You all speak so well in the film, and I know that the audience really connected to a lot of what you said. So, yeah, that's wonderful to hear kind of your origins on how you found yourself. The way you've directed the film, Bonito, is, I think, really reflective of the material too. I love that you're really participatory and you're in it yourself. You know, we see you briefly and your voice is present, and it allows the film to feel really handmade and really authentic, and there's a lot of kind of imperfection in it. And I'm curious if that handmade quality or that direction was something that was important to you, or if, you know, I'm on the right wavelength there.
Oh yeah, that would be really yeah, I think that the imperfections are definitely baked in. My first filming session was with Seagulls and Laloon, because I was like just so desperate to get them on film, because I was like, people need to see this chemistry. Like, people need to understand how beautiful they interact with each other. But I was like, I don't know how to do this really. Like, I don't know. So I just kind of it was like a trust exercise with the editing software and them. But I think like leaving in all the times that Laloon's pen left his hand, and like just throughout the film there's these really cute quirks people have, like when Hero was picking up his dog. Like those moments are so meaningful for me, because they really like show how people feel in the space, which is great. So yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah, well, I think another really good example of that is the coffee too, like the way that you've kept the coffee in, so we can hear the external world.
I love that.
And that kind of leads to another question I have for Seagulls on Flow. Was it surprising when you first saw the film? Was there anything that you were surprised by in the edit and the way that Bonito crafted the documentary? And did you watch it straight away?
Oh yeah, I watched it straight away.
Yeah, me too.
And I think you really did a good job of like compressing everything down, like all the good things, and really capturing like just the vibe. You know, you got the vibe down.
Oh, that was the goal.
Yeah, for sure. And it's you know, it's a little cringy sometimes to see myself on the big screen, but but I really do like how it turned out, you know.
Nice.
Thank you for
I'm,
letting
I'm
me do
also.
that.
I'm also curious. There's this scene, in fact, in your moment, Seagulls, where Laloon forgets that the camera was on, and it kind of begs the question of how long were typically your shoots? Did they stretch for a really long time, and then a lot of was left on the cutting room floor, or were you quite concerned?
These two were both 2-hour sessions. And then most of the other ones were like an hour. Sav was also 2 hours because he got really into painting.
Oh, that's forgivable. I was expecting it could be worse than that. But I think that's healthy. It's a healthy amount of time. In all honesty,
Yeah.
so I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah, it went by fast.
Yeah, something we talked about kind of along that line as well. We talked about before, Benito, is that when you're making documentaries in particular, and this was truthful in my work in the past as well, is that the camera can be really non-invasive. And so it's quite easy to forget that, you know, you're being filmed and this moment is being recorded. Is that something that you were considering during the production? Is that something you wanted to achieve?
I think that happened, like it happened, either I wanted it to happen subconsciously because I think that's my ideal way of working. But I didn't realize how great it was until Laloon was like, oh, it's too bad this isn't going to be recorded. And I was like, man, you completely forgot. This is great. Yeah. I'm just getting like raw. A raw hangout session right now.
Right.
Yeah. But then, I think I also mentioned this before, but I do kind of worry about, like, especially after I had the footage, I was like, oh, I really want to make sure that they're comfortable with everything I'm leaving in because I don't want to, like, then be like, oh, I forgot that I said that and now it's here. So I made sure that every time I finish editing a session, I would send it just to those people right away so that they could give me, like, the okay that this is like all okay information to share more widely. Because that's a kind of scary part about it.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's absolutely a kind of responsibility you hold when you're directing documentaries in that way to just make sure all your collaborators are comfortable. So that makes sense. One thing I'm really curious about for artists is, did you know or have a rough idea of what you wanted to paint going into your shoots, or has practicing in VR, you know, over the length that you've been painting, okay, well, it seems
no
like
idea.
You're so
No, I mean,
right, well,
not a
I wonder if
clue.
you can
Going blind.
I wonder if you can share, like, how practicing in VR has enabled you to just. Do you feel like very artistically free? You can just jump in and paint what comes. It seems that's true.
Basically, that's spot on for me, at least.
for me, it depends on the mood. I can't just like jump in and be like, I'm gonna draw, and then it turns out to be something. A lot of time I just go in, I draw, and it's absolutely like, no, this is just not it today. But while we were recording, it was my day. I made a really nice piece. I'm really proud of it.
Good.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree that the pieces you painted were gorgeous and humongous too. They seem like your piece with Laloon Seagulls just kind of felt kind of endless at points, which was great.
Yeah, that's basically what I go for. It's just endless art, just a big collage of little creatures and objects and things. And a lot of times I'll try to get like input from like a public world. You know, I'll get input from people to try to give me things to draw, and I'll be like, I'm doing this for free, so if it's bad, whatever.
Yeah. For you, Bonito, I am curious. Oh, I will wait as we're interpreters changing over. Thank you, Polly Swift.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
curious. Yes, thank you, Shade. I have a bigger question, a little bit more general, and mostly for you, Bonito, but you're also welcome to jump into this as well, Seagulls and Flo.
Okay.
Is there anything that you have learned or you've had a kind of big takeaway specifically from making this film that's made you consider VR more deeply, or has enabled you to think about different art forms differently in terms of making films in VR? Or what's been your big learning from this experience, if you can share one?
Oh, baby. Okay. So I'm an artist outside of VR, and I have a lot of friends who are in art education, and they're like really struggling. There's like painting teachers that are really struggling because their students. I think because people are getting more comfortable with like digital painting tools, that students don't know how to not be able to delete things. Like they don't know how to not undo or like kind of trust the process of making. There's like this hesitation, and we get so in our heads sometimes about the final product of art, of what we're making, and like who's gonna see it, how many likes is it gonna get. It's kind of like digital art's just in this like really interesting spot. And despite it being digital art still, because everything's in the virtual space, the way that these guys are painting and like the way that they talk about painting, the way that they're helping each other, and the way that they work together and they like are learning, it's like this environment that feels like so timeless. Like you can see that this is how painting is kind of like maybe supposed to be, where you're like there working with the colors, you're in your body, you're talking to other people, you're sharing you're sharing knowledge, and you're just like seeing where things go. Like, and a lot of the times I think we go to drawing when we're feeling in a way that we don't really understand, like we can't communicate. And so sitting in a space with other people and working through maybe some of those feelings, and you feel kind of like held. I think that's like amazing. That's amazing that happened here. And there's like just to bring up Raindance in general as well. Like Raindance, I feel like has so many different virtual experiences where people are working together and talking to each other, and it's like such a facilitation of creativity. I've seen so many mind-blowing things. So yeah, I think it's just making me appreciate the like present embodied element of VR and how that interacts with art.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Thank you for sharing that. That was such words of wisdom. Honestly, I think a lot of people can relate to that in the audience, I'm sure. Seagulls, Flo, do you have anything you wanted to just add on that sentiment? It's okay if you don't.
I think Bonito said it pretty good.
Everything, I think.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah.
I don't think I could say anything over that.
Well, I think it's so well illustrated in the film too. That comes through, that there's so much spontaneity in your words and in your actions, and we get to see the art being made present in the film, and you do a really nice job of pacing the creation of it too. I feel like we get to see each piece from start to finish, and that's really thanks to your editing and timing the questions in the right way, and answering with them well too, of course. So that shines through in the film. Now, before we get to audience questions, I would also like to give you the opportunity, Bonito, just to share some of your wider work too, because you're not just making films, but you also have made avatars and worlds, and you're also writing. And I wonder if you could share with our audience where we can follow your work.
Oh my god, hell yeah. Okay, everybody.
The plug.
time. Plug time. Yeah, so my name's Baby Bonito. You can find me on the internet and in VR chat. I do comics, avatars, I make some worlds. I'm still trying to find my feet, but I'm very excited about a new creative collective that I founded with a bunch of people that are here called glitches.vr. And we have a Substack that you can go to. We're trying to write and interview other creators, some comics, we're going to do more video work, hopefully in the future. And write more stuff. So yeah, please give us a follow and read. I did an article about grass touching grass and how I hate grass
It's a great
in general.
article.
So
It's a great article.
thank you. I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, but I know we might also have other things to plug if there's time.
Plug away.
Plug away.
Plug.
Okay, Dirty Seagulls. You can find me on the internet. I stream on Twitch. I have a Discord community called the Seagulls Nest. If anyone's interested in joining that, hit me up. Always looking for new people. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm all over the place.
Flo, would you like to share anything?
I'm on everything. I'm on everything as well as Father Flo on Instagram, Twitter, on Twitch. I stream me drawing sometimes or gaming or whatever. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I'd love to turn to any audience questions. We certainly have time, and if you have any questions, please just come up to the stage and join us.
Zooming out.
Hey, Kip. Welcome.
Hello. Aloha.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. You guys got me crying up there really badly. That was great. That was absolutely
No.
Oh.
yeah, I was dying up there.
Oh my god.
But I did want to say, throughout this, and for you all, and of course to everybody else, for us artists out here, I actually utilized this world for the first time yesterday, and we did it for filming. So I was drawing on the canvas and stuff like that, and I was having a great time. And I was like, "This is incredible," And so now coming to see this for the first time, I was like, "This is it. This is absolutely it." But speed past it because I'm still emotional right now with it. But I wanted to ask, for all of you in this, and of course you too, Bonito, I'm going to extend on it. How much more confidence have you gained since utilizing this world together with other people in the community? And Bonito, now with you filming it, how has that really helped inspire you to make this film, to make this, to show this off to everybody? I just want to know the confidence out there for everybody to get a chance to get to know it.
You guys want to start with that?
Sure. For me, confidence. It kind of comes in waves, It's kind of hit or miss. It really depends on a lot, but I think overall, though, I've gained a lot of confidence in myself drawing and artistically, just from how many people reach out and say "Oh yeah, I love this, I love that," I want you to make something for me. I'm always like, "Oh damn, what an honor."
Yes. Yeah, no.
The only confidence I really got was I can confidently join the world and just sit down and draw instead of just going in the corner so no one can see what I'm drawing. I confidently just show I'm like, "You like this?" And a lot of people just, I don't even need to do that. They just come to me, they crowd around me, and that gives me such a confidence boost to just continue on painting in that VR world. Just people. It's the people.
Absolutely.
Yep, it's always the drawback.
Yeah, I also think that, I think that the world creator does a really good job of helping people feel confident as well, because if you go into the life drawing world, you'll notice there's a gallery where you can look at other people's art and what they've done in the world, and oftentimes you can see a piece and you'll be like, "Wait, I know that person. I painted with them last week or something," and then you're like, "Wow, they're so talented." And then the next time you see them, you can be like, "Oh, I saw your piece in the gallery. It's really beautiful. How did you do that brushstroke or whatever?"
Yes.
And then, and sharing your knowledge, and getting asked "Oh, how did you do that?" is such a confidence booster, big time,
Yes.
If you guys feel that, but if people are
Yeah,
"Whoa, how did
definitely.
you blend that?" You're like, "Oh, let me tell you." And then it's kind of
Yeah, definitely. Oh, no, it's beautiful. But yeah, to extend on that, just real quick, with you filmed it, you made a video out of this, you made a short film from it. So that confidence, would you say it really came from being in these worlds, from being around these people? That's where originally
Oh my
whole
God.
spark came from.
Yeah,
Good
I
question.
think having the confidence to make the documentary came from knowing that like everyone was gonna have an amazing thing to say, and like they were all gonna do amazing art, and like everybody in the community is like very supportive, and I was like, oh yeah, we can definitely pull this together. Like no questions asked. Like yeah, for sure.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Really, thank you for everything with this.
Thank
That's
you.
absolutely incredible. Keep up the great work.
And I
you
loved your
guys.
Q&A.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kip.
Kip was in a music video.
Yeah, it's
Check
true.
it out
Yes.
if you haven't.
I'll never forget the line, "Baby Bonita," when you go into the gallery and you're like, "Look at those tasty textures." I think that reflects that companionship very well.
Genuine reaction.
Yep. Starheart.
Hello. Oh my gosh. I wanted to say this documentary was so inspiring. The first time I saw it, I visited the world, and I'm not a visual artist at all. So it was so fun to just feel that low pressure environment, but the social environment as well. So I just wanted to thank you for showing off this community that not everyone even knows about. From a documentary perspective, I was so curious. How did you pick out, like, what moments did you find interesting going through the footage? Like, what story did you want to tell, and did that change from when you set out to make it versus when you're in the editing room?
Ooh. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think I had some preconceived notions about how it was going to go that became irrelevant later. One of the biggest differences. Well, I do think Siegel's and Lalloon's interview really like set the tone for the rest of the documentary. Because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. All I knew is that like I wanted to capture. I wanted to capture what it felt like to paint with these people, because that's basically, you know, what happens in the life drawing world is that you're there and you're with the people, and then you're just painting together. And I think I wasn't actually expecting everyone to have so many beautiful things to say, which sounds horrible, but I was like, I know they're all like really interesting and it'll be fun to paint with them, but like when they start talking, man, it's like, whoa, that's like really profound. Yeah, I was like, wow. And then I feel like I got such a good perspective on like what actually happened in the life drawing world. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
It was beautiful seeing everyone's personalities coming through, both in the story, their words, and their art. Like, it was just such a beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Starheart.
Thank you, Starheart.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Such a good question. It's always fun to understand and realize the scenes that really inform the rest of the documentary, and that goes for fiction too. That's something we talked about with some of the other filmmakers. You know, there's some scenes that just inform the rest of the edit, and it's like that's your core. And it's such a chaotic core in this case, but in a great way, in a brilliant way.
I love it. I love it.
Evan, please come join.
Yeah. Awesome. Hey, how's it going, guys? Beautiful film, Benito, and you guys were all amazing in the film. So yeah, awesome work. So my question for you actually is like, so as an artist myself, seeing this community, I wanted to kind of ask that, like, and not only for me, but anyone else watching or anyone else that wants to be a part of this, if you want to get a piece of the action, you know, like what like this life drawing community, how can we be a part of it? Are there events? Are there meetups? Like, how can we be a part of this amazing community that you just showed us today?
That's the craziest part, dude. All you have to do is go to a public instance of the life drawing world, and I swear you'll like start meeting people. I like Flo said in their interview, like sometimes you go to an instance and it's really rough, you know? Like you're like, wow, none of these people, like, they're all not here to like make friends or like just chill. Like it's chaotic. But then you could go to another one and yeah, you can find some like really special moments. And then there's the there is a VR chat group that you can look at, but you kind of, it's kind of like you spend some time in the community first, and then like in the world, meeting people first, and then yeah, you can kind of get more involved that way.
Okay, so it's not like completely organized. It's just like, hey, it's open. You can just go in whenever you want. Open 24/7, essentially. That's basically
Yeah,
what it
Basically.
yeah,
Exactly.
Awesome.
that's kind of the magic.
Awesome.
There's a group instance open a lot in life drawing too, like a group
Yes,
public.
yes.
Yeah, a public group. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you find like the group public by the life drawing group, then that's probably a good way to creep on in.
There's also
Okay.
a Discord server that was created that you it's like probably the best way to share what you've done. Everyone shares their stuff in there. You can see what people have done throughout the week. Like, I'm barely on anymore, sadly, but I'm still updated because of that Discord and seeing everyone's art. So there's the Discord. That's good.
Awesome. Well, that answered my question completely. Thank you guys again. Great.
Thank
Film
you.
Bonito. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. We've got time for one more question. Ameth, do you have a question?
I do.
Okay, let's
Hi.
go.
Hello.
I'm Amith.
Hello.
I'm a professional artist as well. Hi, it's nice to meet you. My question is that I've had a lot of art that I also do a VR, but it mostly focuses on the importance of archival. So what I want to ask you is, are you archiving, are you printing any of your work, like the paintings that you do here? Any of them that really strike you as very important? Are you making moves to print them, save them, and hang them in your home?
Personally, not really. I haven't even thought of printing my VR art for some
Definitely
reason.
do it, yeah.
I should,
consider
honestly,
it.
but the only thing I do is post it on the Discord in my own social medias, and that's pretty much it. That's the only thing I do.
So for me, I save, like, I'm the opposite of Laloon in this sense, but I save like all of my things just to the computer, and like whether it's good or bad, I try to save them all, because I figure why not just have a picture of it. And as far as like going further with that piece, sometimes if I'm not feeling like I'm not feeling as creative at the moment, I'll go back and re-look at all the things I've drawn, and sometimes I'll just like take that piece, throw it into like Photoshop, and kind of go from there and use that as like a starting point, like a jumping off point. But I haven't really thought of like printing anything out yet. Like, that's actually kind of an interesting idea. I might have to do that. But
You should put some in
I
your
have
shop,
put-
bro.
I was going to say, I do have some, like, I have on, like, Redbubble and stuff. I've put, like, some of my VR work, like, oh, this was drawn in VR chat, like, on a t-shirt or something.
Oh,
What
nice.
about you, Benito? Are you saving like work that you paint in virtual worlds?
No, especially not in life drawing. Yeah, I feel like there's like two like kind of different energies and or like philosophies about art in the life drawing community, where it's like one of them, yeah, like is like more like seagulls, and then one of them sort of like, this is a meditative like Hero, I think, says it as well. He's like, it'll get destroyed, and I know that, but that is all that I'm
Yes.
just here to be a conduit
Yeah.
for the brush and experience it in the moment. And yeah, so I think like maybe the film is like my way of archiving my feelings towards the life
So you get
drawing
it
world,
good,
but
yeah.
yeah, but the
Yeah, it's
actual
a really good
experience,
method
like the
of
painting
archiving.
experience, I just sort of like let them go. Like, it's more like an exercise for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Like life drawing, kind of. Like, if you do IRL life
Mhm.
drawing, you can keep them, but they're really not meant like for keeping. They're meant for you to experience the real body in front of you and try and understand it, and then you just sort of like let it go. So it's really interesting that kind of came out naturally.
Yeah, just consider keeping it, because I think that there's a lot of like writing and work, including what I'm doing, where we're stressing the importance of this work is in virtual reality, but it is also real. It's art, and it deserves to be kept if you so desire. So I just want to suggest keeping it if you do a really good one. That was all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love
question.
Ameth's work.
Thank you, Ameth.
Guys should check it out.
Yeah. On that thread, so I had the wonderful opportunity to collaborate with Bonito and some of the amazing artists, you both, and many more from the film for the Raindance Immersive 2023 trailer. So if you've seen the trailer, you will see an amazing group art piece of Raindance Immersive, and it looks incredible. And we've got some really great photography, and obviously the trailer itself to archive that. So. That is a piece worth seeing and certainly worth archiving.
That's really fun.
Now, that's the end of our show. That's all we have time for, but this has been such an amazing and inspiring conversation. I want to say a few thanks.